Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to Cloud Test Lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance and tech support.
Okay, and people generally again, there is a way, and I will tell you a way that only annotations are used. Okay, there is a way to do that, but generally that doesn't happen. What we do is we just create an XML. Okay, we don't declare any beans here. We just declare that we are using annotations and all the beans are handled with annotations. But we do have XML, and why we have XML? Because annotations are loaded first. Annotations have priority 1, and after that XML configurations are loaded. So whatever you declared in annotation, if you want to override that, you can use XML configuration. Okay, so XML override annotation. Okay, so XML override annotations, remember that. Now second thing is annotation injection is performed before XML injection. Okay, again annotation first. So if it is about injection, it's fine. If it is about loading, it's also fine. Okay, so annotations are loaded first, annotation injections are happening first, and then XML injection will happen. Okay, the third thing is annotations are not turned on by default. So if you just start using annotations, your annotations have no meaning unless you declare that we are using annotations. So there are again two ways to do it. Either you declare in an XML or you use a completely different application context factory. Okay, that will be an annotation application context factory. So that will be a different thing. So annotations, the main thing is it will not be turned on by default. Either you have to declare it in XML or you have to declare annotations context factory. Okay, and you can enable annotations with the help of, there is something called as context. In quotation, you are just tell that you are using annotation. Okay, anyway, I'm not writing this especially with this way. Okay, so annotations is compile time, XML is runtime. No, both are compile time. Okay, but the loading way I'm telling you. Okay, remind me one day, I will tell you about class loading. Okay, that will be a big discussion and big confusing discussion. But for people who are very keen in core Java, they want to like deep dive into core Java, remind me, we will have a discussions on class loading mechanism. Okay, so what we were discussing is we were discussing annotation and how to declare annotation, how to start using annotations is whenever this is just a normal Spring XML, I'm not declaring anything here. This is very plain, simple Spring XML, just an added thing called as context annotation config. This is it. Okay, that means that you're gonna use annotation config. Okay. Okay, so this is up to here, it's fine. Now let's create a bean. As of now, I'm not here. Let's create a bean. and let's try working on that bean one-on-one with the help of annotations. I'm just creating a bean for one employee. This is very easy example to understand. That's why I'm using it. And it's a normal Java class, nothing else. No magic in here. Now, if I want to declare, let's say, scene init and destroy method, okay, with the help of annotation, you can do that with the help of annotation called, first thing is post construct. So let me start using that post construct, okay, and then I can do a method public void init. And here I'm just using initialization method. And now what is in the post construct? So what you can get an idea from the name post construct? Can anybody tell me? And I have one very kind question for you. If I have this guy, what is this? So who will execute first, whether post construct or constructor? I really wanted to know. Okay, getting good answer there. Of course, yeah, everybody is giving me a right answer there. So we will test it also. We will test whether we get constructor first or init first. But let's see. That's why I added a small piece out there. And now for destroy, now when that method will destroy? Of course, not after destroy, right? So it's pre-destroy. So before destruction of world, no, your destruction of Spring container, execute this command. This method, not command. What I'm saying. And just this out. Destroy method from employee. Something like that. Okay, cool. So now we have three methods in here. We have annotations added, and this is it. We do not need anything else. Okay. Do we? Okay, let's see. Now, we also, let me tell you one thing. Let me go back here. Now I'm not declaring a bean here. Okay. And now I'm just telling that okay, that will be a part 2 though. Let me declare it, and then we'll not declare any other configuration part. Okay, so there will be a demo when I will not declare bean here also, and we will work on it without any bean declaration inside XML. But right now I am declaring it. I will not do anything else though. All the other stuff will be handled by our annotation. Okay. And class will be my employee class, which is inside. Not of showing the first part, second part first, but that will be confusing. So let's go through this first. Okay. So right now I do have an annotation enabled. I have declared this particular bean. That means this bean will initialize. Okay. And right now I have annotation test class. Again, it has nothing. It has just application context, CTX, and application XML application context and annotation. If I need to execute destroy method, what is the change? The change is I need to add abstract here. right? And yeah, already included. And of course, you need CTF start, register shutdown hook. Okay. Now, once I have that, then I can use employee EM verse 2, and I can get it from CTX dot get bean. Okay. And of course, the name employee, and we need a typecast for sure. So what we are trying to do here, what we are trying to achieve here, we are trying to see whether we get those methods called with the help of annotations. Okay. There are other stuff we can do with the annotations. We're gonna see that in a minute. Let me execute this class. Okay, employee constructor of course will execute first. This is initialization method and destroy method will execute last. So a constructor of course runs first. Okay, so this is our demo number 1 about pre-construct and post-construct. So what are the other constructors? What are the other features? Okay, the other features are, let's imagine an employee needs a salary, right? An employee needs a salary for sure. Other than that, will not work or no employee will work. So let me have a variable for that. So private int is sufficient for salary, right? Or whether we need long salary, and of course we need greater sense of for that. That real quick. Now, I want this particular salary as absolutely required field. Okay, this is my requirement. So I can do one thing. I can either write a condition in a setter method or getter method or somewhere. Whenever this employee is getting initialized, I can write if the salary is null or something like that. Annotations, there is easy way to do. Easy way is on the setter method. You have an annotation called as required. Okay, so required means that this particular, if it is not set, then throw an exception. Okay, and let's see whether we get an exception. Then we will set it. As of now, we'll just see. See, it says property salary is required for being employee. So employee bean, whenever the employee bean is ready, whenever the employee bean is getting executed, it needs the property to be set, and that is salary. So how to do this? We need to have this particular property. That is less. Let's say we are weekly salary. Weekly 1500 much. Okay. And now we execute it. Now it goes back to normal. So everything is fine now. Okay, because your condition is satisfied in employee class. Okay, so there are other conditions like that. Like you can also do auto wiring with that. So you know that auto wiring is you know that auto wiring is on, I mean auto wiring is also by the type. Okay, so this auto wiring, let's use auto wiring feature. Private string. Perfect. Step. What happened? Okay. And now I want this particular field as auto wired. So auto wired you can either set here, you can say here, okay. Auto wired, fine. You can also set it on the get mode. Oh, sorry, set mode. So whenever you are setting first name, you can also set that you need auto wired. Okay, so both the things are gonna make the same thing. It will be auto wired into employee class. Okay, so let's try this. Let's use setter method. And now let we know that there is one thing called as salary, and another will be definitely a string. So let me use another property. Let me not give a name and directly specify a type. Should be Java dot 9 dot string and doesn't have type. Property as name as a required. We have to give oops, and value is then. And you know that this particular wiring works because already it worked for salary. This is just wiring by name. So by defining an auto wiring, you actually there is a lacuna though. Whenever you define an auto wiring, it by default it's required. So if you don't give that particular value, if you mention that I'm saying auto wired, that particular field is expected always. Okay, so if you say auto wired and if you are not giving that value in your in that XML, then definitely you're gonna get an error. Okay, it says no qualifying bean type dot of line dot string because it was expecting that auto wired. So auto wired is by default required. So if in that case, if I want something is auto wired, fine, you are auto wiring something, but you don't want that as a mandatory. You can actually specify required equals to false, and that means you may not expect that value to be passed. That is completely fine if somebody doesn't pass that value. Okay, and if you do that, then definitely you will not get any error and you can execute that stuff and you should be fine. Okay, that is about auto wiring. Now there is another thing called as qualifier. Now remember, we may have what will happen integer. Yeah, sure. Why not? String can accept anything. If reverse happens, then there is a problem. So question is what will happen if you enter integer instead of string? So definitely integer can be read as string. But if you are expecting an integer and you pass a string, then there is a problem. And then it will throw an error. And if you want to see an example, I think I showed you that example. Like salary is an integer, and I'm giving a salary of 10. Okay, then definitely there is a problem and you will get an exception. And of course, it will be a casting exception. It will say like it was expecting integer and it got a problem or something. Okay, number format exception, as simple as that. Because it was you executing integer not outside, right? It's Java anyway. Ultimately, it's gonna execute in a Java file. Okay. And now let me tell you about qualifier. Qualifier is if you have multiple beans in there. Okay. Like let's create a small bean called as role. Okay. Every employee has a role. Okay. And let me have it. Name and have it. And department name. So these are the two things whenever we are declaring a rule. Let me have data setters for them. This is just for example. And you know that there are multiple roles in your company, right? So whenever I'm defining two rule beans, so what I'll do is I will just declare a bean and ID equals to manager. The role is manager class is yes and stuff, but the class name changes to O. And you may declare our properties or not. Depends on you, but I'm just declaring role name, and value I'm passing for manager. Okay. And we do have a role called as developer. So I'll just copy this down. And again, the class will remain same. Okay, and role name is developer. And now think about this. If I'm let's do this. Let's have an employee has a role. So employee should have this dependency. So private role. Okay. Now you created a role, and if I have let's say a dependency on this, I cannot use uh, what is that auto wiring by type because I have two beans now. Okay, and I cannot use auto wiring as a name also because unless I specify what exact ID, exact manager or developer ID I need, I cannot use it as a direct implementation. I cannot auto wire it. So I need to give something as a whenever I'm setting it, I can give something as a qualifier. So I can specify that qualifier here. So what I can do is I can just tell that qualifier, okay, and I can pass the qualifier like this employee is a developer, okay. And if you do that, then this particular wheel will be auto wired, okay. It will be, this is kind of a different way of auto wiring, okay. So auto wiring with the help of name, but you will not name it like that, okay. You will just use a qualifier and automatically that will be mapped. And let's say whether we really get it in. So I'm just saying em dot get role and dot get role name, and I should print this information. So let me see now, and this is it. 968, and let me execute this guy. Okay, null pointer. What's happening there? You need 1 minute to analyze it. No, that's not shutdown hook. That's something else. Where it's throwing exception is here. Em dot get role. So get role is coming as null. So I'm not sure.
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on Kudzu.com and on our website h2kinfosys.com. On our website h2kinfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.